Good morning, everyone. Each day, we wake up to a world full of potential. It's a place of opportunity, but also one of uncertainty. The path ahead is never entirely clear, and the struggles we face are often more daunting than we care to admit. But within this uncertainty lies something profound, a chance to align ourselves with purpose, with meaning, and with a source of protection that transcends our own limitations. When I speak of protection, I don't mean a shield that eliminates hardship or struggle. No, life doesn't work like that. Struggle is intrinsic to growth. Instead, I'm talking about a framework, a set of principles rooted in something greater than ourselves. It's the kind of protection that comes from grounding yourself in a higher order, from acknowledging the divine and embracing it as a guide for your actions. Mornings are sacred moments. They're the foundation upon which the rest of the day is built. When you wake up, you face a choice. Will you step into the chaos of life unprepared, or will you take a moment to anchor yourself in something eternal? Starting your morning with God's protection means beginning the day with humility. It means recognizing that there are forces beyond your control, forces that shape your circumstances, your relationships, and even the way you perceive the world. But it's also an acknowledgement that you're not powerless. You have the capacity to align yourself with these forces, to walk a path of righteousness, responsibility, and courage. So how do you do this? First, begin with gratitude. Gratitude is a discipline, not just an emotion. When you start your morning by reflecting on the blessings in your life, your health, your relationships, your opportunities, you create a foundation of abundance. It's a way of saying, I see what I've been given, and I'm ready to honor it. Next, seek clarity. Prayer, meditation, or even a moment of stillness. These are tools to connect with the divine. They're opportunities to ask yourself what's truly important today. Where do I need guidance? What can I do to bring order to my own chaos? And finally, embrace responsibility. Starting your morning with God's protection isn't a passive act. It's a call to action. It's a reminder that you're here to do good, to contribute, to serve something greater than your own immediate desires. Understand this. The world is a fragile and uncertain place. There's suffering, injustice, and complexity at every turn. But within that complexity, there's also the opportunity for meaning, for growth, and for transformation. And when you start your morning rooted in God's protection, you carry with you the strength to face whatever challenges arise. You're not alone in this journey. The divine offers guidance, but you must choose to listen. You must choose to act. So tomorrow morning, when the sun rises and the day begins anew, take a moment to pause. Reflect on the gift of life, the presence of God's order amid the chaos, and the role you have to play in it all. Then step forward with courage, knowing that you're protected not from the trials of life, but through them. Gratitude is a profound practice, not just a fleeting sentiment. It is a conscious choice to look at the world, even in its imperfection, and recognize the goodness embedded within it. When we begin our day with gratitude, we set a tone that resonates throughout everything we do. It's not about ignoring the challenges or pretending that difficulties don't exist. Instead, it's about choosing to see what is good, what is valuable, and what is worth cherishing despite the difficulties. The first moments of the morning are powerful. They set the stage for the day ahead, and what we focus on during these moments has an incredible impact on our mindset. Waking up and immediately dwelling on stress, worries, or the burdens of the day places us in a reactive state, where we're constantly trying to catch up. Gratitude shifts this dynamic. It allows us to pause and consciously recognize the positive aspects of our lives, no matter how small they may seem. Consider this: when you wake up, your body has already performed a miracle. Your heart has been beating, your lungs have been breathing, and your mind has been resting, all without your conscious effort. This simple act of waking up is a gift in itself, something we often overlook. Gratitude begins with acknowledging the fundamental blessings of life, the ones so basic we take them for granted. Gratitude also cultivates perspective. Life is often filled with noise, demands, conflicts, and distractions that pull us in countless directions. Starting the day with gratitude helps us cut through that noise. It shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. And when we recognize what we have, we approach our challenges from a position of strength rather than deficiency. Gratitude reminds us of our resources, both external and internal, that can help us navigate the complexities of life. Practicing gratitude is not always easy, especially when circumstances seem overwhelming. But it's precisely in those moments of difficulty that gratitude becomes most powerful. It's a tool that helps us reframe our experiences, turning what might seem like insurmountable obstacles into opportunities for growth and learning. Gratitude doesn't erase the hardship, but it provides a foundation of resilience. It allows us to see beyond the immediate struggle and recognize the lessons, the connections, and the moments of grace that exist within it. Moreover, gratitude has a profound effect on our relationships. When we're grateful for the people in our lives, our family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers, we treat them differently. We become more patient, more compassionate, and more generous. Gratitude shifts our interactions from transactions to connections. It reminds us that each person we encounter brings something unique into our lives, and it encourages us to acknowledge and appreciate those contributions. There's also a deep humility in gratitude. It requires us to acknowledge that we are not entirely self-sufficient. That much of what we enjoy and benefit from comes through others, whether that's the efforts of people we know personally or the contributions of those we'll never meet. Gratitude opens our eyes to the interdependence of life, and in doing so, it fosters a sense of community and belonging. Gratitude is a discipline that grows with practice. It's not enough to feel grateful occasionally or to express it only when prompted. To truly harness the power of gratitude, we must make it a daily habit. This could be as simple as taking a few moments in the morning to reflect on 3 things we're grateful for. These things don't need to be grand or extraordinary. They could be as simple as the warmth of sunlight streaming through the window, the sound of a loved one's voice, or the opportunity to start fresh with a new day. Science supports the transformative power of gratitude. Studies show that individuals who regularly practice gratitude experience greater levels of happiness and life satisfaction. They tend to be more optimistic, more resilient, and even physically healthier. Gratitude has been shown to reduce stress, improve sleep, and enhance overall well-being. It's a practice that not only benefits us, but also creates a ripple effect, influencing the people around us in positive ways. When we begin our mornings with gratitude, we're also aligning ourselves with a deeper spiritual truth. Gratitude is inherently tied to the recognition of a higher order of divine presence that sustains and blesses us. It's a way of saying, I see and honor the goodness in my life, and I trust in the source from which it flows. This acknowledgement creates a sense of alignment and peace that carries us through the day. Gratitude also fosters a sense of stewardship. When we recognize the blessings in our lives, we're compelled to take care of them. This could mean nurturing our relationships, cherishing our health, or honoring the opportunities we've been given. Gratitude inspires action. It moves us to not only appreciate what we have, but also to use it wisely and generously. It's a call to responsibility, urging us to be good stewards of the gifts we've received. Importantly, gratitude is not about comparison. It's not about looking at others and thinking, I have more than they do, or at least I'm not in their situation. True gratitude is inward focused. It's about appreciating the unique aspects of our own lives without diminishing or elevating ourselves in relation to others. This kind of gratitude fosters contentment and diminishes envy, allowing us to find joy in our own journey. In the quiet moments of the morning before the day's demands take hold, we have a precious opportunity to cultivate this mindset. It's a moment to pause, to breathe, and to reflect on the simple yet profound blessings that surround us. Gratitude practiced consistently becomes a lens through which we view the world. It shapes our thoughts, our actions, and our interactions. It transforms not only how we approach the day, but also how we navigate life as a whole. Clarity is a gift we often overlook, especially in the rush of modern life, but its value cannot be overstated. It is the ability to see through the noise, distractions, and chaos to focus on what truly matters. In the morning, when the mind is fresh and the day is yet unwritten, we have a unique opportunity to cultivate clarity. This process requires intentionality and effort, but the rewards are profound. Starting the day with a sense of direction and purpose creates a ripple effect that influences every decision, interaction, and task that follows. Reflection is one of the most powerful tools for gaining clarity. Taking a moment of stillness in the morning, whether through prayer, meditation, or quiet thought, allows us to step back from the busyness of life and examine where we are and where we want to go. In these moments, we have the chance to ask ourselves important questions. What are my priorities today? What values will guide my actions? What challenges might arise, and how can I prepare to meet them with grace and strength? This act of questioning is not about seeking perfect answers, but about orienting ourselves toward intentional living. Clarity also involves understanding our limitations and accepting them with humility. No single person can do everything, and no day will ever unfold perfectly. By acknowledging this, we free ourselves from the pressure to achieve unattainable standards. Instead, we can focus on what is within our power, small, meaningful actions that align with our core values. This focus is what gives our efforts depth and significance. It reminds us that even amidst imperfection, we have the ability to create order and purpose in our lives. One of the greatest obstacles to clarity is distraction. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Notifications, emails, news, and endless streams of information compete for our attention from the moment we wake up. Without intentionality, it's easy to get swept up in this noise, reacting to whatever demands our immediate attention, rather than proactively deciding how we want to spend our time. Clarity requires that we guard our mornings from these intrusions. It might mean resisting the urge to check our phones first thing in the morning, or setting aside a few minutes of uninterrupted quiet to center ourselves before diving into the day. Seeking clarity also means being honest with ourselves. This honesty can be uncomfortable because it often reveals areas where we've fallen short or where we're avoiding responsibilities. But facing these truths is essential. It's only when we see ourselves clearly, both our strengths and our weaknesses, that we can make meaningful changes. Morning reflection offers a safe space for this kind of self-examination. In the quiet of the early hours, we can confront our fears, regrets, and doubts without judgment and begin to chart a course toward growth and improvement. One of the most important aspects of responsibility is recognizing our interconnectedness with others. Our actions, no matter how small, have an impact on those around us. To embrace responsibility is to consider how our choices affect our families, our communities, and even strangers. It is to acknowledge that we are part of a larger whole and that our contributions, whether positive or negative, ripple outward in ways we may not fully understand. This perspective calls us to act with integrity, compassion, and a sense of stewardship. Responsibility also involves setting priorities. The demands of life are endless, and it is impossible to do everything. To live responsibly is to make deliberate choices about where to focus our time, energy, and resources. It is to recognize that not all tasks are equally important, and to devote ourselves to the ones that align most closely with our values and goals. This prioritization requires clarity and discipline, as well as the willingness to say no to distractions and obligations that do not serve our higher purpose. The act of embracing responsibility is deeply empowering. It shifts our mindset from one of helplessness to one of agency. When we take responsibility for our lives, we stop blaming others or external circumstances for our challenges. Instead, we focus on what we can do to create change. This empowerment does not mean we can control everything, but it does mean we can always take steps to move forward. Even small actions taken consistently can lead to significant progress over time. Responsibility is also a source of meaning. When we take ownership of our lives and our choices, we find a sense of purpose that transcends the mundane. We begin to see our struggles as opportunities for growth, our relationships as opportunities for connection, and our work as an opportunity to contribute. This sense of meaning is not something we passively receive, it is something we actively create by living in alignment with our responsibilities. Another critical aspect of responsibility is accountability. To live responsibly is to hold ourselves accountable for our actions and their consequences. This accountability is not about self-punishment, but about honesty and integrity. It is about being willing to admit when we have fallen short, to take steps to make things right, and to learn from the experience. Morning reflection provides a space for this kind of accountability, allowing us to review our intentions and commitments and to realign ourselves with our values. Responsibility extends beyond the personal. It encompasses our roles as members of families, communities, and societies. It is about contributing to the well-being of others, standing up for what is right, and working toward a better future. This broader sense of responsibility can feel overwhelming at times, but it is also deeply fulfilling. It reminds us that our lives have significance beyond our individual experiences and that we have the power to make a difference in the world. To embrace responsibility is to recognize that freedom and responsibility are inseparable. True freedom is not the absence of constraints, but the ability to choose how we respond to those constraints. It is the ability to act in ways that align with our highest values and aspirations. Responsibility gives our freedom direction and purpose, transforming it from mere potential into meaningful action. Mornings are a time to renew our commitment to responsibility. They are a time to reflect on the opportunities and challenges of the day ahead and to prepare ourselves to meet them with intention and purpose. This preparation is not about creating a rigid plan or trying to control every detail of the day. It is about grounding ourselves in our values, setting our priorities, and embracing the role we have to play in shaping our lives and the world around us. It is about recognizing that, no matter what the day holds, we have the power to act responsibly and to make choices that reflect our deepest commitments. Humility is a virtue often misunderstood, yet its significance cannot be overstated. It is not about diminishing oneself or downplaying one's worth, but about recognizing the larger context of our existence. Humility invites us to see ourselves as part of a greater whole, acknowledging the forces and influences beyond our control that shape our lives. In the morning, as we awaken to a new day, we have the chance to ground ourselves in humility, to approach life with an open heart and a clear perspective. To practice humility is to accept that we do not have all the answers. Life is vast, complex, and often unpredictable. No matter how much knowledge or experience we accumulate, there will always be mysteries beyond our understanding. Humility reminds us to approach the world with curiosity and a willingness to learn. It frees us from the burden of needing to be right all the time and allows us to listen, observe, and grow. This mindset transforms our mornings into opportunities for renewal and discovery, setting the tone for a day filled with openness and adaptability. Humility also calls us to acknowledge our dependence on others. While individual effort and determination are important, none of us can thrive in isolation. Our lives are deeply interconnected, and much of what we accomplish is made possible through the contributions of others. Whether it's the love and support of family and friends, the labor of those who grow our food, or the innovation of those who create the tools we use, our existence is built on a foundation of shared effort. To embrace humility is to recognize and appreciate this interconnectedness, cultivating a sense of gratitude and respect for the countless unseen hands that sustain us. Another aspect of humility is recognizing the role of chance and grace in our lives. While hard work and discipline are essential, so much of what we experience is influenced by factors beyond our control. The circumstances of our birth, the opportunities that come our way, and even the people we encounter are often the result of chance. Humility invites us to approach life with a sense of wonder and gratitude for these unearned gifts. It reminds us that success is never entirely our own doing and that failure does not define our worth. Humility also helps us navigate relationships with greater empathy and understanding. When we acknowledge our own limitations and imperfections, we become more compassionate toward others. We recognize that everyone is navigating their own struggles and uncertainties, and we are less likely to judge or criticize. This perspective fosters deeper connections and a sense of shared humanity. It encourages us to approach others with kindness and patience, even in the face of disagreement or conflict. In moments of achievement or success, humility serves as a grounding force. It prevents us from becoming arrogant or complacent, reminding us that our accomplishments are part of a larger context. Humility encourages us to use our talents and achievements not as a means of self-aggrandizement, but as opportunities to serve others and contribute to the greater good. It shifts our focus from self-centered ambition to a broader sense of purpose and responsibility. Morning is a particularly fitting time to reflect on humility because it marks the beginning of a new day, a blank slate filled with potential. In this quiet space, we can set aside the ego-driven concerns that often dominate our thoughts and reconnect with a sense of awe and reverence for life itself. We can remind ourselves that the day ahead is not just about personal gain or accomplishment, but about how we can contribute, connect, and grow. Humility also equips us to face challenges with resilience. When we approach difficulties with an inflated sense of self-importance, we are more likely to feel overwhelmed or defeated when things don't go as planned. Humility, on the other hand, allows us to accept setbacks as part of the journey. It helps us maintain perspective, recognizing that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone toward growth and learning. This mindset fosters a sense of perseverance and adaptability, enabling us to move forward even in the face of adversity. Practicing humility requires mindfulness and intention. It's easy to become consumed by the demands of daily life, to focus solely on our own needs and desires, and to lose sight of the bigger picture. Morning is an ideal time to counteract this tendency by grounding ourselves in humility. This might involve moments of prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection activities that help us step back from the busyness of life and reconnect with a sense of purpose and perspective. Humility also challenges us to examine our motivations. Why do we do what we do? Are our actions driven by a desire for recognition, power, or control, or are they guided by a genuine commitment to serve and contribute? These are not easy questions, and the answers may be uncomfortable at times, but humility invites us to confront these truths with honesty and courage. It helps us align our actions with our values, ensuring that our efforts are meaningful and authentic. Another dimension of humility is its relationship with gratitude. The two are deeply interconnected. When we practice humility, we naturally cultivate gratitude because we recognize the many gifts and blessings in our lives that we did not earn or create. Similarly, gratitude deepens our sense of humility by reminding us of the generosity and interconnectedness that sustain us. Together, these virtues create a foundation for a life that is grounded, purposeful, and fulfilling. Humility also encourages us to let go of the need for constant validation. In a world that often equates success with external recognition, it can be tempting to seek approval and affirmation from others. But humility teaches us that our worth is not determined by accolades or comparisons. It reminds us to focus on the intrinsic value of our actions, rather than the praise or rewards they may bring. This perspective liberates us from the cycle of seeking validation and allows us to act with greater authenticity and freedom. In the quiet moments of the morning, we have a unique opportunity to cultivate humility. It is a time to reflect on our place in the world, to acknowledge our strengths and weaknesses, and to set intentions for how we will engage with the day ahead. Humility is not about diminishing ourselves, but about recognizing our interconnectedness, our limitations, and our potential. It is about approaching life with a sense of wonder, gratitude, and purpose. It is about striving to grow, to contribute, and to connect, all while remembering that we are part of something far greater than ourselves.